Hey guys, Steve here with another World in Flames video. I'm in a little bit of a pickle. It has been 3 weeks or so since I last uploaded a WiF video, um, and I guess forgot that I was playing through a July and August turn. I had recorded some footage for it, and I must have accidentally deleted it. And I only realized this looking back at my last video and knowing, oh, I hadn't conquered Gibraltar yet, but in the intervening clips, you can see that I have. I have taken Gibraltar. Now, um, my memory is shot, and all of this has to do with life and work, and I haven't been able to get to the game very much. And when I do, it's a massive undertaking, right? It's you do an impulse, you're moving a lot of stuff. It's no joke when you're gonna play this. And I'm finding that this has really goofed up my drive to keep the game going. And I feel terrible because you guys are probably very excited to see the attack on Gibraltar. And I really don't have much else to say on the matter other than I fouled up. So just to get a sense of where things are at, we were actually several impulses into July, August. And you can see we're in Gibraltar. And in fact, based on the unit allotments here, you can kind of guess kind of how we got there. We're actually positioned to be conquering Morocco while we're at it. But that the Axis came out to the sea zone, Cape St. Vincent, and cleared that out. We used a preponderance of air power to flip the units in Gibraltar, and then in a massive attack that included, if I remember right, the decently strong units down here, as well as I believe we had paratroopers and the Marine that landed in here. And massive amounts of shore bombardment. I mean, it was kind of, in my thought process, sort of like the textbook, here's how you're going to take Gibraltar from the north kind of thing, where, and actually I might have had a unit down here attacking across the strait. I can't remember now exactly. But from what I remember, I mean, I did everything that I could to get units down into Spain and in Morocco, went into the sea, cleared the sea zone, disrupted supply, and then focused on flipping the defenders who were out of supply, which sort of made it so that as long as I could throw a lot of units in, I could get it, and it was something like maybe 4-1 odds. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I basically threw everything in that I could, and that ended up being enough. I think I maybe lost a unit somewhere. I'm not sure where I put that unit. Maybe over on the other table that has been untouched for weeks. So we took Gibraltar, right? So we have, if we take a look at the game right now, I mean, it's it's definitely an interesting situation. I'd say, with North Africa, well, basically the Mediterranean is now for sure a Axis Lake. Mare Nostrum is achieved, that's for sure. There's really not much else that the Allies can do. They have a sub out here that's going to have to return to port. The only port they're really going to be able to return to that's safe is maybe even Malta for that sub. They might be able to go to somewhere else. I have to double check. But the real problem is that they'll be out of supply if they go to Malta, and I won't really have to worry about that sub. And then it's a whole question of, well, do we have the Italians, take Malta just as insurance and get it taken care of? They have the power to do that, while the Italian Navy goes out and, aims to help support German activities against the Commonwealth. But the Commonwealth kind of knows Sea Lion is coming, and I was kind of reaching this decision point of, do I do the Sea Lion like we intended and I'm sort of partially set up for? Or, do we try to do a 42 Barbarossa and just do the close the med strategy and focus there, where we potentially have a greater chance of maybe succeeding against the Soviet Union. That might be fun to do a Soviet Union thing. I mean, the whole big switch up of this game was that we were going to go through Spain and we were going to close the Med and then we were going to invade the Commonwealth, and it may be too late for that. So what I think I may do, again, apologies for losing the footage. It's such a bummer, and I realize I probably deleted it a couple weeks ago as well. That just sucks. It really bums me out. And I'm sort of waffling on whether or not I want to close this game up early and not play all the way to 45. Getting into 41, trying out the ahistorical stuff, providing an illustrative example for new players was kind of part of the reason why I was doing this. But I've got a lot of other games on the table over here, as you guys have seen in my unboxing videos, and I would like to get them out and play them. It's harder to do that when I've got WiF set up on this table. I'm still playing a WiF game with masks and the whole thing elsewhere. So I'm still playing WiF, you guys, so I can get to a lot of the other games that I have that I would like to set up and try out and record here. So a lot of WiF videos. This channel started really as a WiF channel, and it'll continue to be in some form or another for a long time. But at least for now, I think I might close this up after maybe another turn or two, depending on how well Sea Lion goes. We can kind of play that out and get to a point where we feel like we're happy with the game. We'll see. I might change my mind, but I'm looking at all these other games I got that I really want to try. I've got people messaging me outside of YouTube or in YouTube saying, hey, I can't wait to see this game that you got and everything else. So it's like, hey, there's a lot of stuff that I would like to play that other people would like to see. Realize World in Flames has taken up a lot of the time here, and there's other cool games to play. But World in Flames is probably one of my favorite games, period. It's one of the best games that I have, but I need a little variety just to keep it going. So, all right, I'm going to take a break here. For you guys, it will just be a second. And when we come back, we'll start looking at the rest of July, August. I have to figure out where I was. It looks like maybe I was finishing an Axis Impulse, or maybe I was at the tail end of it. I'm really not sure. I mean, being away from the table this long, I have to kind of evaluate where things are at. I might even have to roll to decide whose Impulse it is, just to re-roll initiative and get things started. Okay, I played a little bit. I got landings in adjacent to London. London's going to be a really tough nut to crack, unfortunately. Not 100% certain that I would get very far. But as I'm playing through this, I think I've reached a point where, well, I'll put it this way. My in-person WiF game is going to be ending because we're losing a player. He's moving, and we're probably going to start all over again, and swapping sides and doing the whole thing. And I think playing this solo will only confuse me, because we'll probably go past where I'm at relatively quickly in the game, just because I'm playing more in-person game, even a couple times a month at most, more than I'm playing by myself here solo, because of my limited game time and ability to just get back to this game. So as much as I hate to say it, I think I am going to close up the game and put it away. And I feel really bad, because I always hate, if I'm watching somebody on YouTube and they're playing a great game that I'm really interested in, and they get to a point where they stop and I want them to keep going. That tends to be much earlier than what I'm doing here. And I've played this for a while, but I think I've played enough that, if anyone's really curious to see what In Flames is really like, I think there are enough examples here for you to absorb. And I am closing up the game, not because I'm bored with the game. I have a lot of other stuff that I want to get to. I'm still playing World in Flames, so this is sort of a selfish decision, I guess. I still get to play World in Flames. I get to play World in Flames, in safe virus conditions, appropriately with people. We take that seriously, but I'm still getting to play that on some recurring basis. So my WiF exposure is just fine and dandy. I get all the whiffing in that I need. But at home here, I've played out some interesting scenarios. I've invaded Spain, which I've never done. I'm kind of seeing how the rest of Sea Lion would maybe play out, but it'd be really tough going. I think I waited too long, or I gave the UK too much time to deal with me, I guess is one way to look at it. The other thing is I don't have offensive points, so really everything I do is a lot tougher when you're trying to do big stuff like this. So I don't know. I definitely feel like this was a good exercise, like to play through and experience and everything, and it's going to take me a while even just to clean up. But I did want to make sure that I gave everything a try because, just playing at home, it was a good thing to try out. But I think I'm ready for a different game on the table here, just so that when I do get whatever time to play a game, I can do that. So again, I apologize. It sucks. It kind of feels like I'm giving up, but I'm really there's other stuff I really want to get to the table even with just the Europe map takes up a lot of time. Or a lot of space, and then a lot of time just kind of finagling myself around the table. And ultimately, there are some game reviews I'd like to do that I would really need this table space to do coherently. And there's stuff I do just want to play that happens to not be WiF, and the potential for any game playing in this room with other people eventually would be stalled by having WiF set up. So, yeah, I think I've got to call it. But I think this was a well-played game. I think it's just not keeping up with my current mode of game playing. So, the next game that sits on the table will probably be a game that can be played in several hours at best. Not, a big 20-hour thing where, if I'm only playing an hour at a time, I mean, it just stretches into months and months and months. It's really hard to facilitate, honestly. So, if I do come back to WiF on the channel, which I probably will at some point, it will probably be via Vassal, if only because, again, the time and table constraints are what they are. Probably the next time I get WiF out on the table like this will be if I'm hosting an in-person game, which my game room was sort of set up to make sure that if I wanted to, I could do that, and that's still always an option for the future, though you guys probably wouldn't get to enjoy it or see it because I'd be hosting it here. That's a whole different problem. So, yeah, I think I'm going to pack up the game, guys. This will be final episode. Sorry if you were really interested in keeping it going. I encourage folks to play World in Flames themselves or get together with some people or get on Vassal and play with folks. I don't really have time for Vassal games either, with people, because there's that expectation you're going back and forth with moves or you're setting a set time, and really my personal time for gaming is kind of well allotted at this point. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And if you've been watching every episode since the beginning, I really appreciate that. And I know there's folks out there that comment regularly on the videos. And hopefully you stick around for other content that's coming, other reviews I've had lined up for a while that I've wanted to do. There's unboxing videos to come because I'm getting another GMT shipment soon. I've got some games that I promised that I would do on channel, and I will do that once the games arrive. Namely 1918, 1919 Storm in the West by Ted Racer. That's going to be on the table probably next. So, yeah, guys, I hope you stick around for more. Hope you enjoyed this series to the point that we played it to. If I had another player, maybe I'd have an incentive to keep going. But with just me, I'm getting to the point where I want to kind of get something else played. If I keep buying games and not playing them, that's going to be like bad gaming karma one way or the other. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. See you in the next video when I can get to it. Take care. Keep on gaming. Really appreciate the views and all your support. Always good stuff. Catch you later.